Om. Om. Om Shri Ganeshaya Namaha. Om Shri Saraswatyai Namaha. Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Om Samastajana Kalyane Niratam Karunamayam. Namami Chinmayam Devam Sadgurum Brahma Vidvaram. Sadgurum Brahma Vidvaram. Om Shruti Smrti Purananam Alayam Karunalayam. Namami Bhagavat Padam Shankaram Lokashankaram. Hari Om to all of you. We are now starting today. In fact, is the first yajna online for Noida people. So I have conducted some talks here and there on Zoom. So now, from today onwards, we will complete Ātma Bodha only through Zoom, through Zoom lectures. We will go a little bit deeper also in this subject as much as possible, as much as required. So let me introduce now the text called Ātma Bodha. Hope you have the textbook written by Puja Gurudev or any other textbook if you have, that's fine. Otherwise, slokas if you have, that is fine. Now, Ātma Bodha is one of the texts written by Bhagavan Adi Shankaracharya ji. He written so many books, innumerable, so many commentaries and so many stotras, shatakams, ashtakams, so many things and so many commentaries on Upanishads and Bhagavad Gita and Brahma Sutra. So much work Adi Shankaracharya did. Now, friends, Prakarana Grantha, you must have heard at least before. Some of you must have studied, or all of you may have studied Tattva Bodha. Prakarana Grantha means a textbook, an auxiliary textbook, or it can be called as a supporting text to support the Vedantic study. We need a certain basic understanding of the terms that are used in Vedanta, what exactly it is. So unless we go through these basic textbooks, we will not be able to understand the higher Vedantic truths, because this is the words are used like Maya Shabda, Ishvara, Jivaha, Chidabhasa, or Shamadama, ityadi, so many words we use. We must know the meaning of these things. So these are the Prakarana Granthas are actually helpful in understanding the main text called Vedanta, Vedanta Shastra. So what is the main text of Vedanta then? If you say Prakarana Granthas are meant to understand the main text of Vedanta, what is the Mula Grantha of Vedanta? So Mula Grantha of Vedanta is nothing but Upanishads. See? And who is the author of the Upanishads? It is called Apaurushayam. No man-made author is available. It is not written by anybody. It is Apaurushayam. It is direct revelations. Of course, to the Rishis it was revealed. So, if you ask then who could be the author of Vedas or Vedanta? Vedanta, Veda, everything. We have to only answer it is Ishvara alone who wrote Vedas. Wrote means it has come from Ishvara only. Therefore, Vedas are called Apaurushaya. Upanishads are Apaurushaya. But Prakarana Granthas or any other Granthas are Paurushaya Granthas. Meaning they are written by many Acharyas to clarify certain basic terminology of Vedantic texts, Vedantic texts to study. Vedantic texts. Now, there are actually two types of Prakarana Granthas. In this also, there are two types of Prakarana Granthas. One type of Prakarana Granthas, they are called introductory Granthas, which are studied before we study the Upanishads or before we study the Vedanta. These are the introductory studies. Immediately it strikes us Tattva Bodha, then Ātma Bodha also, like which we are going to see. But then Ātma Bodha comes under a specific class that we will come to the later that point. Some Vivek Chudamani also is Prakarana Grantha. Like that, so many Prakarana Granthas are there, where when we study, we get clarity of the basic terminology that is used in Vedanta. Now, in Prakarana Granthas, the beauty in the sense for the convenience of the seekers, initial seekers, in the sense seekers in the initial stages, the elaborate arguments are avoided. Arguments you find in Upanishads with Purvapakshi and Acharya Siddhanti, or in Brahma Sutras, you find elaborate arguments. But in Prakarana Granthas, these arguments are avoided and simply the truth is presented so that we can understand without any arguments. So, in other ways, in studying Upanishads and other Granthas, we may bring Sankhya, we may bring Yoga, we may bring Nyaya, we may bring Vaisheshikas. All these things we bring different systems of philosophy. We make a reference point, if necessary, prove the Advaitic point, and then go ahead. So this is one type of Prakarana Granthas where we study as an introductory before we study the Vedantic textbooks. Now, there are some other Prakarana Granthas which actually come after we study the Upanishads. After we study Upanishads, there are certain Granthas for clarity, like Advaita Siddhi. There are Nyaya Granthas, because without understanding Nyaya Shastra, we will not be able to understand those Advaitic, the heavy texts written by, like, Advaita Siddhi, Madhusudan Saraswati wrote, Ishta Siddhi, and so many other textbooks are there, which normally they are studied only by serious advanced seekers, of the learners. It is not so important for another type of seeker who is interested to know the basic terminology, understand the essence of Upanishads, and go ahead. So this is another textbook. In Ātma Bodha, is a very beautiful thing. This is studied actually because the examples are so striking in this, that the Ātma Bodha is studied both as for a preliminary student. It is offered, it offers a beautiful thoughts for preliminary before the study of Upanishads and Vedanta, and also this is studied after the Vedantic studies are over, because the examples are so striking. Then you will appreciate, after understanding Siddhanta and what is actually Pratipadya Vastu, or what is that Vastu which is explained, what is to be attained, in short, what exactly it is. For beautiful understanding, Ātma Bodha is, so it is a two types. It is for advanced students also, it is also for the preliminary or primary students also. So, and another important thing, Ātma Bodha mein uniqueness. The uniqueness of Ātma Bodha is that, when something is explained, told, immediately Shankaracharya would add an example. So for every point that he makes in Ātma Bodha, there is a corresponding example also mentioned there. So almost all slokas you find examples for what is stated by Adi Shankaracharya. So there are only 68 mantras. sorry, slokas, 68 slokas. All are in simple meter, Anushtup Chandas of Sanskrit. Now we have to understand, little deeper we will go. What is the meaning of Ātma Bodha? This we have to study. So we will spend some time in what do you call, entering into the subject by understanding a long introduction I have prepared mentally to convey to all of you, so that we can revise the subject and we can also get clarity. Okay, so please be with me. Ātma Bodha means what? We should understand first. Meaning of, the word meaning of Ātma and Bodha. These two, actually two words are there. Ātma and Bodha. Now first word, Ātma. Ātma means what? Ātma means your own essential nature. It is called, Ātma means Swarupam, your own essential nature, or the content or the essence of your being. The real essence of your being is called as Ātma. Like for example, what is the essence of the gold ornaments? Gold. What is the essence of the mud articles? Mud. What is the essence of all the waves, ultimate essence of the waves in the ocean? Water. Meaning, that is the essence, the ultimate essence of ours, which we call as being. Therefore, one beautiful sloka is there that I will see, that today we will see. Yachapnoti yadadatte yachatti vishayaniha yachascha santato bhavaha tasmad atma iti kirtyate. A beautiful sloka which explains what Atma is. Atma is. One root of Atma is Yacha Apnoti. Up dhatu. Up root. Up means what? To pervade. So, what is one meaning of Atma? What it is called Atma is derived from the up. Up means Apnoti. Apnoti means Vyapnoti. Vyapnoti means Apnoti iti Atma. Meaning, it is that essence which pervades everything and everyone. So, Atma means what? It should strike us. Atma means that ultimate essence which pervades everything and everyone. Just as the clay pervades the pot, ornaments pervade, the gold pervades the ornament. Similarly, yat sarvam apnoti iti Atma. Atma is that which pervades everything. A beautiful one word for Atma. Second meaning is yad adatte. Adatte. Adatte means what? Ultimately, that into which everything resolves, everything goes back, everything merges, everything dissolves. That ultimately, universes, cosmoses, multiple universes are there. So, multiverses, everything, whatever the matter, physical matter, whatever energy, what you are seeing, everything, including mind, including the elements with which the creation is made. In fact, everything dissolves. So that into which everything is dissolved is called adatte. Yad adatte. It's a beautiful thing. So, adatte means ada, to take unto, to swallow, to resolve, to absorb, ultimately to dissolve everything into itself. So that is Atma. Beautiful thing. So that everything, yasmin sarvani bhutani jayante. So that from in whom all beings are born, yasmin pratishtante, well pratishtate, that in all beings in whom they reside, and praliyante, that into which everything merges back, that is called as Atma. And what is that? The essence. You are made up of that essence only. That essence is actually Atma. Okay. Third meaning is Yacha apnoti. First one, yadadatte yacha atti vishayan iha. Beautiful thing. Atti iti Atma. Adadhatu. Atti means to eat, to experience. So Atma is that essence which knows everything, which is which everything it knows. Meaning what? Nothing remains outside the purview of its knowledge. Atti iti Atma. Everything is known. That you are the ultimate experiencer, meaning you are the ultimate witness here. So you experience everything. It will come in the sadhanam vina. Like Surya Narayana knows everything what is happening. Similarly, Atma is illuminating, knows everything, whatever is happening. Next one. Third, Atti. That is Atti iti Atma. So there, Yena Rupam, Rasam, Gandham, Shabdan, Sparshamscha Maithunan, Etaneva Vijanati, Kimatra Parasishyate, Katopanishad. That by which Rupam, Rasam, Gandham, Shabdam, Sparsham, all these Shabda, Sparsha, Rupa, Rasa, Gandha, everything, Etaneva Vijanati, Himatra Parashishyate, what is left there? Everything is known. There to Atma, nothing remains unknown. So third meaning Atma is Adatte. Atti iti Atma. The fourth meaning is, in the sloka it is said, Yachasya santato bhavaha. Santato bhavaha. Santato bhava means what? Santataha asti. Asti bhava. Santata bhava means that Atma is that which exists ever, which exists always. It is called Chit Swarupam, which is the nature of pure consciousness. Friends, remember, you are the divine. You are that essence. Only thing is we have to wake up. We should know that we are that. For which, of course, we need instruments that will come now in the entire text. So we must know. So this is called, these four meanings are there. The meaning of Atma. Okay. Now, Bodha is the next one. So Atma is Apnoti, Atti, Adatte, Santato, Bhavaha. Four meanings we saw. Now, question is, listen carefully, little will go little deeper. Now, Atma means awareness, consciousness, pure knowledge. Agreed. That we saw now. Pure consciousness, pure awareness, pure knowledge. Now, Bodha you take for example. Bodha also is knowledge only, awareness only. In the case of the Atma, it is pure awareness, not awareness of. It is easiness. It is pure knowledge. In that knowledge, that is not the knowledge of an object. It is pure knowledge. It's difficult to understand. It is not like sun, something illuminating, as illuminator the sun. Merely sun. There is nothing to illuminate. It is not the knowledge of an object. It is pure awareness or consciousness. It is not like the knowledge of the pot or knowledge of botany, knowledge of zoology. It's not like that. So it is an awareness in which there are no objects present. It's a beautiful thing. Now, it's an objectless awareness that is called Swarupa Chaitanyam, your Ātma. Now, second thing is that what about the Bodha? Second type of knowledge is Bodha, Ātma Bodha. We have to study the word meaning of Ātma Bodha. Ātma is eternal, pure awareness. What is Bodha? Bodha is second type of knowledge. This second type of Bodha regarding the Atma, to know, what do we need? We need an instrument to know knowledge. Second type of Bodha, suppose I need knowledge of pot, knowledge of an object. So to know knowledge of an object, I need instrument of knowledge. Now, very carefully. To know everything else, I need instrument of knowledge. Mind is an instrument, sense organs are an instrument. So without the sense organs, I will not be able to, which are instruments of knowledge, eyes, ears, nose, tongue, skin. Without them, I will not be in a position to gain the knowledge of the outer world. So the Bodha, how does this Bodha takes place? Very carefully. Knowledge takes place. How does actually knowledge takes place? Because suppose I saw a pot. When I saw a pot, I know that it is pot. Simple. Somebody told me in the beginning of my life, it's a pot. I that understood it is a pot. So the moment I saw pot, what is happening? Where is knowledge taking place? Physically, for science, what is science is, the object is reflected on the retina, then again it becomes inverted, the image again, second time inversion, then in the brain, the image is clear, and the brain, this image is formed, and the consciousness in brain, that science don't speak about consciousness, but they say the brain consciousness they speak, brain consciousness knows it, and therefore the knowledge is known. In Shastras, what happens is, it is mentioned that without a vritti, without a thought, no knowledge can take place. Vritti is a thought that takes place in the mind. Now what happens is that when I see a pot, the consciousness goes out, takes the shape of the pot, returns it back, and that image, that mind vritti, in the mind the consciousness is there, that consciousness takes the shape of the object. So pot, ghatakar vritti, the thought takes place. So that is called, and that this vritti is happening, then I illumine that particular thought, then I know the thought. Then I will have knowledge of the pot or ghata knowledge. So pot knowledge means what? Pot vritti takes place in the mind. Meaning whatever object I see, that it is pictured, a thought is formed, by embraced by consciousness, that consciousness shapes itself into the thought, and then the mental consciousness shapes itself into the thought, that object form, and then higher, and then therefore the knowledge is formed. So the Nirakara Chaitanyam, which is there, it pervades the Ghatakara Vritti, and then the knowledge takes place. It is called not Shuddha Jnanam. That knowledge is created, it is processed, it is born, it is Janya Jnanam. It is called born knowledge, it is. Beautiful. Now, Why should we need Bodha Rupa Jnanam of Atma? In Atma Bodha, Bodha is Vritti Akara Jnanam. So here, I will come to later on that point, whether this Bodha, how that knowledge takes place, and then this is knowledge. Bodha means knowledge. Knowledge of what actually? Atma. That I will come to the point later. Before that why should we need Atma Jnanam? Because Atma is awareness. Very carefully, please listen. Atma is awareness. Self-awareness is Atma. So we all know that we exist. Everybody knows I exist. So therefore what? We all know that I am. I am, that I know. I am inverted commas. Everybody knows that they exist. Nobody will have experience of I don't exist. I don't exist is not the truth. Everybody has an experience saying that I exist. Aham asti. Aham, I am. Okay. Therefore means what? Therefore, from this, everybody knows the Swarupa Jnanam. Everybody is having that Jnanam. I am, I exist. So Atma Jnanam is there. I know I am. So therefore, Vedanta and other scriptures have dealt so deeply. Mere Swarupa Jnanam is not giving us liberation. Because even though everybody knows I exist, I am, that is not making people happy. That is not making people liberate. It's a beautiful thing. Happiness, liberation. Then why should people cry? Everybody knows I am. I exist. This I am is constant. There is never a day or a time where I was not. Bhagavan Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita, O Arjuna, there was no time where these were not, nor will there be any time in future where they will not be. That is Atma. Therefore, we must be smiling all the time, celebrating always. It is not happening. Therefore, Shastras explain, mere Swarupa Jnanam is not enough for liberation. We require some other Jnanam. Some other knowledge is required. That means what? Knowledge of oneself is required. But sir, we have already knowledge of oneself. No. Listen carefully. Knowledge of oneself means what? We should have knowledge about our Swarupa knowledge means what? I am, I know. But Aham Swarupa Chaitanyam Asmi. I am that Supreme Chaitanya. I am Atma. And I am Sarvavyapi. That knowledge I don't have. I am Sarvavyapi. I am Sarvasya Adata Asmi. I am the experiencer, the witness consciousness. I am Sarvasya Jnata, the knower of everything. I am always Asmi. I am of the pure consciousness. I am Nirliptaha, untouched everything. I am Ananda Swarupaha. I myself is Ananda Swarupa. This knowledge we don't have. I know I am, but do we know that we are infinite? I don't have that knowledge, that experience, that understanding. I know I am, but I don't know I am actually dukkha free, free from all sorrows. I am Ananda Swarupaha. I don't feel that way. I may have studied here and there books. Therefore, what we require is not Swarupa Jnanam, everybody knows that they have, that they exist. But what we require is Vritti Jnanam. Vritti Jnanam about Atma is required. Therefore, Shastras generate this Vritti Jnanam. What does the Vritti Jnanam do? This Vritti Jnanam will remove the avidya, ignorance of your own nature. Meaning that I am Ananda Swarupaha, I am Ananta Chaitanyam, I am that infinite consciousness, caught up in the body, mind, intellect complex. I am originally light Swarupa, I am Jyoti Swarupa, I am infinite. This knowledge we don't have. So to create that knowledge, what are the obstacles? There's so many obstacles are there. So therefore, this jnana, in this jnana, what is the Vishaya object of knowledge? Object of knowledge itself. This Atma Bodha is knowledge, knowledge about Atma. Knowledge about Atma, Bodha is a Vritti Jnanam, thought generated knowledge. But the thought generated knowledge destroys the avidya, and that avidya destruction के लिए ही ये आत्मज्ञान जरूरी है. It is not to illumine the Atma, the original consciousness. This knowledge cannot illuminate. This knowledge simply removes the avidya, which is an obstacle. Then, Swayam Atma Swarupam Swayam Prakashate. Atma Swarupa reveals itself in its own glory. Like for example, an example I'm giving you, just stray example. Like Hanumanji. Hanumanji knows, he knew that I am a Vanara. I am a team member. I am one among the many. I am on Rama's mission. Everything he knows. Unless and until Jambavan reminded him that these are your powers, unknown to you. When the avidya, that I don't have the power of flying, I am not having the power of Virat Rupa Dharanam, I can become huge. I have Ashtasiddhis with me already. I don't. So ignorance has been removed by Jambavan, and immediately Hanumanji recognized his true potential. Not only I am, so I am, all my vibhutis I know. I am. So similarly, this Jambavan, what did he do? He removed the ajnanam. Similarly, Atma Jnanam will remove this ajnanam, and thereby Atma, original consciousness, easiness is there. The capital Atma is there. Capital Atma, A is capital, not the reflected Jiva. That capital A, the common, the supreme consciousness, that is you, your own original nature, comes out and shines. So, in Atma Bodha, Atma refers to Swarupa Jnanam, Bodha refers to Vritti Jnanam or a thought Jnanam, like Ghata Bodha, Pata Bodha, cloth. Pata means cloth. That knowledge of the pot, knowledge of this one, knowledge of Atma is required. So, this Atma Vishayaka Jnanam is to be produced by an effort. Prayatnam. Because I forgot myself. So I am in a long sleep of not knowing who I am. I know. But I am, like Hanumanji example, I am that I don't know. Therefore, a great Mahatma says, I am that I am, meaning what? I am not this I am. I am not limited I am universal I am. Very beautiful. Therefore, this is the Atma Bodha. This we have understood so far. Okay. So what is the subject matter here? Atma. What is a pramana? Pramana means instrument of knowledge. To generate that knowledge of Atma, Supreme Atma, that is Swarupa Jnanam, What is the instrument? The text is the instrument. Atma Bodha is Pramanam. Very beautiful. Atma Bodha text is a Pramanam, which means, and the knowledge of Atma, that is Atma Bodha text. Atma Bodha, the knowledge, is Prama. Prama means knowledge. So this Grantha, Atma Bodha, is different. That is Pramanam, which produces the Janya Jnanam, the knowledge of your own self. Who you are, who you really are. A master says, go and find out who you really are. This is the Atma Bodha. Now, there are two more important subjects which we have to deal before we enter into the shloka. We will come, slowly we will come into it. Now, the first 5 shlokas of Atma Bodha, the main theme is introduced. What is the purpose of the whole text? In fact, knowingly or unknowingly, all the human beings are pursuing that only. Somebody wanted, everybody wants, not somebody, everybody wants eternal happiness. Every effort is to make myself happy. Therefore, in Shankaracharya, at first, he establishes that the fundamental disease for all the human beings, for all of us, is ignorance or avidya. Fundamental ignorance, fundamental disease is called avidya. Beautiful. Therefore, Shankaracharya says the disease is avidya. Avidya, ignorance, ignorance of one's own self. Ignorance of one's own self means which self? Ignorance of one's own full self, Purna Aham. I am there, I know I am, I exist. But what is the nature of that I don't know. I know I am, but what is that I? Because with respect to hand also you use I am writing. With respect to legs also you use I am walking. I am hungry with respect to stomach. I am seeing with respect to eyes. The I is used, but which is original I? Which is real I? What is real I? Therefore, our problem is what? We consider ourselves to be something else rather than considering who I am really. Thinking oneself to be something else than what he or she is really is, the thinking oneself to be somebody, someone, that is called adhyasa or superimposition. This is what first point we have to understand. This is called what? A feeling of incompleteness because of adhyasa. So on the Purnaham, I, what do you call, superimposed something anatma on Atma. The technical terms we will see later on. So I, instead of knowing what I am fully and really, there is some kind of, due to avidya, I superimpose something on myself and I start feeling I am incomplete, I am dukhi, I am sometimes sukhi, but mostly dukhi, and sukham also goes away, then again I am in sorrowful condition. This is the problem. The second part is, in Atma Bodha, the treatment also is given. How do we treat this disease called avidya? So, these things are told in Atma Bodha. Okay? So, because the important thing is, any treatment requires preparation. Like surgery, suppose the preparing for surgery is a major part, important part. Preparing the patient for surgery, not only on the operation table, just before the operation, but couple of days before. The blood sugar to be normal, sugar should be sometimes should be under control, and his other general health and parameters are checked. Weakness should not be there, and so many symptoms are there. So doctor says he prepares the patient for treatment first. So the patient must be able to stand to the treatment. Otherwise, the treatment could create other diseases if the patient is not ready. Therefore, he said, Anabhyase Visham Shastram. For an untrained person, Shastra or knowledge is a poison. Very important. If you are not prepared, so everybody cannot, Gurudev says somewhere, if you are not understanding Vedanta and it is too much for you, he says, okay, drop the book, don't worry. Go, pursue your goals, earn money, help others, be a nice person, kind person to others, enjoy life. Then after some time, mind will settle. Then you may grow interest in studies. So, Anabhyase Visham Shastram, very important thing. That's enough. The big sloka is there. So, with this introduction to, general introduction to Ātma Bodha is completed today. So, we will have to go to the first sloka where the Anubandha Chatushtayam is brought in. What is Anubandha Chatushtayam? That we will see tomorrow. Thank you. Today we will conclude here, and tomorrow we will have class at 10:30 only, because so many people want to see Bhumi Pujan of Ayodhya temple in television. So many people have requested me that if you are continuing 12:15, I think is Muhurat Kaal for Bhumi Puja. We will miss it. It's an historic day. So please allow us to attend. So then I thought 10:30 is ideal time, because Dvitiya Vignam Shastra says somewhere, it says in some elders say, I heard, Dvitiya Vignam should not be there. Second day Vigna should not be there. Whatever we study, second day should not be stopped immediately. A continuity, it's a continuity sanskar. So tomorrow we will have 10:30 to 11:15. We will enter into the first sloka, and tomorrow we will see Anubandha Chatushtayam. Slowly we will study this Ātma Bodha. Thank you all very much. Om Purnamadaha Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnameva Vasishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Harihi Om. Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Harihi Om. Sadgurunath Maharaj Ki Jai. Thank you. Harihi Om.